make up the difference on the grocery bill of a poor person in front of him. Elsewhere, no doubt, a man was inserting a finger into his own rectum as he masturbated. As I stood there on the street corner, a mere 2 lanes of intermittent traffic away from my coffee, people were roasting alive in fires, learning to crochet and speak rudimentary Spanish, planning weddings, and murders. The earth continued to plunge through the universe at an inconceivable speed, and upon it I waited in vain for the crossing signal to change, tongue cleaving to the roof of my mouth as I dehydrated slowly, thighs stiffening with the cold, a modest awe at the vagaries of creation blossoming in me as it did most days, these days. A few hours later, the street lamps flickered on, casting circles of bilious yellow across the pavement. Headlights from passing cars strobed my torso and face. The picture window in the coffee shop's facade glowed a warm, beckoning orange, and people sat at tables before mugs that steamed like scale-model nuclear power plants. They slouched on their tailbones with their legs splayed in front of them, relaxed and comfortable. They watched videos on their tablets and turned the pages of analog books with studied contemplativeness. Gradually, as the evening drew on, in ones and twos they all departed, and by the girl behind the counter readied the shop for closing. Hands in my pockets, I watched as the girl came to the front door and threw the deadbolt, then emptied all the coffee urns into the sink and rinsed them with water from the tap. She upended the chairs and set them on tabletops and gave the floor a perfunctory mopping. She counted out her register and jammed a bunch of bills into a burlap cash bag, hurrying. Maybe she had a date to get ready for, or maybe she was meeting friends. Perhaps she was just tired of work and had no plans more pressing than to not be at the coffee shop any longer. But whatever the reason, there was a real urgency to her movements. I shivered. I looked at my watch, then again at the crossing signal. Despairing of my coffee, thinking I should finally turn back toward home, I glanced one last time at the picture window, and that was the moment when the man emerged from the bathroom and pointed a gleaming obsidian pistol at the girl who had served me my Americano all these years. For a moment, they just stood there, the girl frozen in disbelief, the man trying to figure out what came next, like an actor waiting for his line. Then the man yelled at the girl and motioned with the gun in a threatening way. I couldn't hear what he was saying, of course, being across the street and on the other side of a thick pane of glass, but I could guess at the gist of it. He wanted money, certainly. Maybe he wanted something in addition to money as well. One read about such things from time to time. I reached for my phone. The crossing signal continued to glow red. Don't walk. The girl took the cash bag off the counter and held it out to the man. Before her arm was fully extended, he snatched the bag away and yelled at her again. At this, the girl clapped her hands over her ears and bent at the waist, trying to disappear, trying to will herself to time travel or disintegrate or to become any of the versions of herself that she had ever been or would ever be. Anything but this version of her who, 30 seconds prior, had perhaps been daydreaming about a glass of Pinot Grigio and was now wondering if she would live to see another sunrise. The girl's mouth hung open, ragged with terror. 911, please state the nature of your emergency, a woman said into my ear. The nature of it? I thought for a moment. The nature of it is frightening, quite dangerous, I think. Involves a firearm. Sir, do you have an emergency you want to report? Thank you for rephrasing, I said. That's much easier to answer. Yes, there is a man holding a barista up at gunpoint. And where are you, sir? I'm standing across the street, I said. Which street, sir? Appleton, across from Hilltop Coffee. A man is robbing Hilltop Coffee on Appleton Street, the woman said. That's correct. The man motioned toward the cash register, and the girl moved past him, careful to keep as far from the gun as possible.